Little pergola up here in this area in the middle, commemorating the American French heritage. And see if we can get a closer view without the shadow on it. It's got different names of the people that were here from that time. And in the middle is actually where the buildings would have been, some other buildings for the military, the barracks, and this is a view. There's the gate. I'm gonna give you a 360 of Fort Caroline. Cannons over there. This is facing the St. Johns River where this fence is, the wooden fence, and goes all the way around to the corner over there. Remember, this is a triangle shaped fort, and then this wall is facing the marsh, and this one's facing the land right here. Okay, June 30th 1564, Fort Caroline was founded right here in this area, St. John's Bluff in Jacksonville, Florida. May 1st 1562, the May River is what they call it, with the revolt monument there at the mouth of the St. Johns River. And this river, the St. Johns River, is right on the other side of this fence, was called the May River back then. And this is where the river they used to come down a little bit to build Fort Caroline to protect it from the Spanish. It was a refuge for French Huguenots, 300 colonists in 1564 led by Laudonnière. Dominican Indians lived nearby. The French made peace with them and they helped each other. This Fort Caroline was named after King Charles IX. First year, they depended on the Dominican Indians because they went send ships back to France to get supplies. A lot of people left Fort Caroline, and the Spanish captured them and told them the location of Fort Caroline. The reason they left because they were starving and running out of supplies. August 1565, the whole colony was going to leave, but the ship showed up, Revolt ship showed up with supplies. They came back, the French came back with 600 soldiers. Supply run. King Philip of Spain heard about Fort Caroline and said it had to go. So he sent Admiral Pedro Menendez to establish Fort St. Augustine south of here in 1865. Decided to take ships to go attack Menendez at St. Augustine, but his fleet was destroyed by hurricanes. But at the same time, the Spanish were marching by land to go attack Fort Caroline. The Spanish attacked Fort Caroline on September 20th, 1565 and destroyed it, hanged 50 people and took a lot of prisoners. Laudonnière escaped on his boat. Menendez went south and found the shipwreck of the French from the hurricane. He killed 350 of the French that were marooned from the shipwreck. Gave him a choice. Menendez gave him a choice: if you convert and become a Catholic, we won't kill you. And most of them didn't, so they got executed behind the sand dunes. Built the fort on this same site called San Mateo in 1865, on this same site where the French fort, or nearby where Fort Caroline was. Years later, the French regrouped and came back with de Goris, set sail August of 1567 to get revenge on the Spanish here for the destruction and massacre of Fort Caroline. April 4th, 1568, Fort Caroline was attacked, which was also called San Mateo because the Spanish occupied it, and all the Spanish were slaughtered right here in the same spot. The Spanish tried to rebuild it, but eventually abandoned it in 1569. Basically, the French found the May River, set up a monument, come down river, built Fort Caroline here to hide from the Spanish. Spanish found out about it, built a fort at St. Augustine, decided to come attack Fort Caroline. The French decided to go attack them. At the same time, the French were out in the ocean. Hurricane hit them, sunk their fleet. And the Spanish were marching by land from St. Augustine to here and attacked the fort and took it. Later on, the French regroup came back, attacked this San Mateo, which was also Fort Caroline, and destroyed it. But also during the year that Fort Caroline was here, they had issues with starvation and lack, so they had to rely on the Indians. Eventually, the Indians got tired of helping them, and they had to eventually take it by force from the Indians, and they didn't like that. So they're about to flee. Some of them did flee. Then Revolt showed up with supplies and 600 soldiers. And then it wasn't long after that when the attack happened. The entrance of Fort Caroline, I'm walking to the back and see what's back there. There's the wall, the moat. You're seeing what's on the other side of this over here. You see how high it is? They had to get through the moat. Could have been palisades in there, which was sharp sticks. Then you had to go at that and them shooting at you with cannons and rifles and all kinds of stuff. This is just the backside of Fort Caroline here. See the triangle shape? You can see the backside of it and then going that way. Inches of the original Fort Caroline was 1,260 feet on each side of the triangle, and the smaller side was 860 feet. That shows you how big that is. This is only 1/3 of that. So again, it was shaped like this is the front of the triangle here. So one of these walls on this side would have been 1,260 feet, and that short end over there where the gate was 860 feet. So that shows you it was a lot bigger than this. But this is the far side of it over here by the St. Johns River. Okay, you can see the back side of Fort Caroline here and a good view of the St. Johns River over here. That's really cool. And this is a view back of Fort Caroline. Like I said, the original wall was 1,260 feet. So this is like 1/3 of the size. And this is how it looks on the back. All the way down. See that? St. Johns River, right next to Fort Caroline. From the outside, you had to get over this, which I'm sure this was not built like this because they could have climbed right over. This is probably on the opposite side. You can see it goes all the way down. Awesome. Backside of Fort Caroline. Stick sticking up like that. That's unique. The detail they put into it up there. And then the French flag, King's flag, the fleur-de-lis at the time, all the way to the St. Johns River. This is one of the bastions of Fort Caroline there. There's another one there and one on that side. Awesome. This oven was outside of a lot. They had houses and buildings and communities outside the fort too. They lived outside of it, but they went in the fort when they were attacked or there was danger.